Paul Martinez. Hey, Gary, you can't listen. That's why I said what I said in the short. I said we'll know way more tomorrow. That's the cost of it. We we get preliminary. Everybody says it was this or that. You can't help it. That's why I'm not going to go and make a video on it. But to make a short and say this is what I'm hearing, that's a totally different thing. Benjamin, what's up? Bigfoot, salute. All right, so let's get into it. Red River Rally last night. The Waterdogs are a club. They're a three-piece club. They are not a 1% OMG. They're not an outlaw motorcycle club, right? From what I hear, there are men whose old ladies have the patch. They ride together. They ride on any type of bike. They're not one of those 1% type of clubs. They're just a club. Then you got the Bandits. Now the Bandits pretty much have taken over in New Mexico. And yes, now the Mongols are in there, and that's probably where the mix-up came last night, where people were saying it was the Mongols and the Bandidos, right? You figure those are the two big clubs. That's who it had to be from. No, it's the Waterdogs and the Bandits. They got into it. Here's what happened. So earlier in the day, the Waterdogs had ridden up to the rally with another club, the Disciples. Now, the Disciples are a Christian-based group, which are supposed to be off limits, right? There's no pressure applied to these Christian-based groups. Now, maybe they're a little loose in their Christianity or whatever, but they're a fun time, right? That's the type of club I low-key could see myself messing with. And yes, it is a cool-ass name. So the Waterdogs are walking down Main Street at the Red River Rally. The Bandits had seen this picture of them riding together with the Disciples. I have the picture together, right, in a pack coming up. Well, the Bandits already feel a certain type of way about the Disciples, so they start to press. Two Bandits walk up to a group of Waterdogs on Main Street. They say, you're going to be a support club for us, allegedly, or you're going to give us your patches right now. So the president, Shady, from the Waterdogs, now this is all alleged, says that ain't happening. Words are said, heat's pulled, Shady fires on one of the bandits, hits the bandit goes down. Shady puts, allegedly, again, 3 more into the bandit. Now, the other bandit that's sitting there seeing this, well, he pulls out and he smokes the boy that was right next to Shady. Back in the head type of deal. That's what I'm hearing. Seeing this, another Waterdog pulls out and hits that bandit. So you have 2 bandits gone, 1 Waterdog gone at this time. Now, Shady, the president of the Waterdogs, is put into an ambulance. He's been hit in the leg. And the ambulance is on its way to the hospital. And this is where you won't find it in the media. So it's one of those things. This, so far, I absolutely choose to back this. This is where the bandits tried to get after the ambulance that Shady was in, trying to get to Shady. They were on their motorcycles. The cops came. I hear the bandits and the police maybe had themselves a little Wild West time.
No sound.
What, Brandon?
No sound.
There's no sound. Can you guys hear me, or is my brother retarded?
No, I'm retarded.
Okay, my brother's retarded. Coming in here just messing everything up.
I apologize.
So they chased down the ambulance. Obviously, it's all over the scanners for Albuquerque, too. They locked down the hospital they were headed to. Bandits were already at that hospital. Bandits were actively on the ambulance trying to get Shady. And that's what we have right now. It all started because the Bandits pressed a club that did not want to be a part of what they had going on, and they held their ground. Now, what they're saying is somebody was arrested who's in the hospital right now. I'd imagine that's probably shady. I'm not going to say 100% until his name actually comes out, but I'm going to imagine that's shady. I'm not going to speak on the legal case, obviously, if he's being charged with it, on whether he was standing his ground or he had the right, or I don't know the laws of New Mexico that well either. If they have stand your ground, I will be looking into that to do a more in-depth story since so much information has come in. What we do know is that the Bandits Albuquerque chapter president has been escorted everywhere by his people all day today. Escorted him to his house, like they're trying to lock down on what's going on. Now, at first, when we said it was the Mongols, I have somebody that I absolutely trust, and I still absolutely trust. Just because he got a bit of bad information does not mean every bit of information that he brings me is bad. It's just one thing, you get stuff wrong. The Mongols actually did not go to the rally. They stayed away from it because they knew it was going to be cop heavy. It was just going to be a shit show. The Mongols decided that they had better stuff to do. There's been a lot going on in New Mexico that has not been reported on. There was actually a bandit killed like a month ago while he was riding. I don't believe anybody's been arrested in that. There was no big news coverage. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to spin this, and they're going to spin what happened in Georgia with the Thug Riders. I believe it's the Thug Riders. They're going to spin this into the narrative that all clubs are bad. And that's bull. That's garbage, and we all know it. They're going to try to just clamp down like Australia or Canada. Bill is the one Bill, if you're out there watching, thank you. Bill was right away, he was jumping on top of this, and he was like, hey, man, they're going to use this to try and push that Australia type deal where nobody can wear a patch, and everybody that wears a patch is an outlaw. Like the Waterdogs, from what I'm hearing, are just live and let live type of club. But at the end of the day, they're men, and you can't just run up on another man and say, I own you. And that's kind of how that went. Now, there are clubs that are support clubs that want to be support clubs, and that's the nature of it, right? It's like you go learn how to be in a motorcycle club, and then you work your way up, or something like that. But the Waterdogs weren't having it, and in return, Omen from the Bandits, rest in peace to you. I'm sure, I'm sure he has family. I know he has brothers that loved him. The other bandit, I don't know his street name, and I'm trying not to use real names in this because it's obviously a fresh, new, open case. And a Demon, was it Demon from the Bandits? So I do know you can't blame Shady. You can't blame the Waterdogs. I know this is definitely going to change everything for the Waterdogs in New Mexico, 100%. Like, it was one of those things that's on Main Street out in front of everybody, I got all kinds of pictures too of the scene. Obviously, there's a lot of pictures that can't be shown on YouTube. I'll probably make something for my members on the members only. Just a quick collage. And, oh, okay, Demon. Oh, okay. Right. So anyway, the biggest thing out of this is obviously the Mongols weren't involved. And that's where we're at. And the Bandits were, whoa, can you imagine? You imagine they're so mad they're going after, I mean, they locked the hospital down. They had all kinds of cops at the hospital, and you have an active blazer going on between a motorcycle club and an ambulance because that ambulance is carrying somebody that they're trying to get to. I bet that's a crazy ass scene right there. That's straight out of the movies type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it probably wouldn't have happened if they hadn't have blown it out of, you know, like they saw them ride in with a club they did not like. And because of that, 3 men have lost their lives. Another man is being charged, I believe, with open murder. I mean, the get down is crazy. The get down is real crazy. And if you want to be in that life, you got to know the consequences to it. Even being in some of these, quote, smaller clubs, it can end poorly. And it ended poorly at the Red River Rally. And they just allowed clubs to start flying their colors at the rally. They just did. The Bandits were I believe they were banned from going to that rally for like the last 4 years. And this is the first year that they were allowed back in. I mean, what happens if it ends the rally too? What happens if, like Laughlin, the River Run, they shut the River Run down because of what happened at the River Run? Do you know how many mom and pop businesses are on Main Street at the Red River Run rally or the Red River Rally? It's a small town with one main street strip with little, you know, little hotels and little shops and a bar. And this bar owner, everybody's saying it happened at his bar. And he's screaming to the high heavens saying, this did not happen at my bar. This happened on the street. You know, this wasn't like, and imagine his business, the people that live there. How long do you think they're going to stay away from that bar thinking that that's where this type of stuff happens? You know, so a lot of lives are being ruined over stuff like this. That's a fact. Bandidos. I call them, I don't know. That's Pee Wee's word for them. So that's Pee Wee's fault. I'm sure he'll watch this. Pee Wee, it's your fault I call them the Bandits. But yeah, I mean, and so they had something that happened in Oklahoma too with the, what were they, the Homitos or something? I believe that's what they were called. And they ride around, they have a MG, not an MC. They straight up claim motorcycle gang. And you have to have gone to prison to be in that club. And that's who the Bandits got into it with not too long ago. And then there was something that happened in Texas. I believe that was between, I from what I'm hearing, and I haven't dug into that one so much, was allegedly a couple of banditos maybe shot up one of the Mongols' homes. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. Yeah. See, Jeremy Chavez, Waterdogs are just guys that like to ride. And that's what I've been hearing too. I heard that there was an old lady for one of the members that rode with them. She had a patch, you know, and he rode a Japanese bike, you know, like that's the type of club that the Waterdogs are. They're just a club that likes brotherhood, that likes to wear the same patch and go to these functions together. And they got pressed up on, and Shady wasn't having it. And obviously his bros, you know, one of them got hit from behind, didn't even see it coming, but the other one immediately took out the bandito that did that. So obviously they're with the function as men and taking care of action like men, but in no way are they a diamond patch 1% outlaw motorcycle club. They are a motorcycle club. And I believe they have a 3-piece patch, but if you listen to the media, they're going to tell you 1% clubs got after each other and shot it out on little old Main Street America. That is not what happened at all. That is not what happened at all. It was two men from one of those clubs came up to a group of the others, pressed him on his patch, and it ended very poorly for everybody involved. And you lose two Bandidos, one water dog, and have a running shootout with the ambulance on the way to the hospital. So, Joey, hey, Free from Fetters Grove. If you guys haven't checked him out, that is my dude. He said it best right there. If you don't want to push back, don't push. And I have a very hard time. You probably won't ever hear me say anything bad about what happened on the Waterdogs' behalf. They're men, and they stood up for themselves. And that's in no way a shot at the Bandidos. I have zero funk with the Bandidos and want no funk with the Bandidos. But I just sit up here and I call it how I see it. And how I see it is, they ran up on the wrong ones and fucked around and found out. And that's how that went down. So that's what I have for you guys. Marco. I talked to Marco from Marco's Motorcycle. And I'm going to probably go over there for a half hour tonight. I'll also be on Culture War Vultures with Gangish, my partner on our other channel where we talk the crazy woke Bud Light stuff, transmissions and all that. So I will definitely be around on YouTube tonight on Marco's channel and my other channel. And I'm going to be digging deeper into this one, obviously. I got all kinds of photos coming in, like I said. So thank you guys for coming to Vegas Profile Stories. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Josh from the Homie Hangout, I see you. That's my dude, too.